So after going through the Columbus main library, I was working on my own sculptures and was studying busts that existed within the Columbus main library and realized they didn't have one of Andrew Carnegie. So I decided to see if I couldn't make one of my own. So since 2012, I've been wanting to get a copy of the Carnegie sculpture over to the library, and just been distracted with other commissions that have been keeping me busy. So knowing that they're going to reopen their doors, I wanted to see if I couldn't get this into their doors before they reopen. But the wax-based clay started to fall to gravity over time, and it also, like wax, it has the ability to crack and more or less weather, and the surface of that wax-based clay also gets hard. Over time, that it was not workable in its same format, so I started to strip away some of the surface so I could put new clay on, which is where I pretty much have left off at this point. But being able to rework it digitally gives me an option for getting it to the state that I want, and then a 3D print.
So my name is Brooks Myers. I'm the CEO of Knockout Concepts, a local tech company that makes software for real-time mobile 3D scanning. So my background is in CAD design, and you utilize 3D scanning a lot for engineering purposes and design, reverse engineering, and I thought that it would be really great to create a technology that made that more accessible to everybody. We created a mobile device that utilizes active depth sensors, and we've used lots of different depth sensors in concert with Android tablets that enable us to capture 3D models in real time. So Knockout Concepts has developed proprietary algorithms to make that possible, and when Gavin approached us about the Carnegie project, he thought it would be great to start with a scan. And so we came in and set up and quickly scanned the Carnegie bust so that he could take it into ZBrush later.
Hi, my name is Michael Cow. I started IC3D in 2012. Started as a hobby designing and building 3D printers, and shortly after that got into manufacturing our own 3D printing filament in Ohio. And now we've got a team of about 10 people, and we are doing a lot more 3D printing as a service. So Gavin approached me a couple months ago and said, hey, do you want to 3D print a life-size bust of Andrew Carnegie that I'm sculpting? And that was pretty much it, and immediately I said, sure. I had no idea what the purpose was, but it's kind of something that was kind of right up our alley and seemed interesting. The printer that we used is our own custom designed FDM, which is Fused Deposition Modeling type of 3D printer. It's our biggest one. It's the build volume is a cubic meter, and so at first we talked a lot about the settings that we wanted to use, because you can go with a fine resolution and a fine nozzle, or you can go with something very coarse, and depending on what the object is how we usually choose those settings. For this particular print of this bust, the point was to kind of showcase this technology, that it wasn't just sculpted or milled out of something. This was 3D printed. So we decided to go with a coarser setting so you can really see the layers.
Digital sculpting and 3D sculpting, physically sculpting, are closely related in the idea of, I think, spatial reasoning. You have to have an understanding of what's going on, not just at what you look at. And your perception between a physical sculpt and a 3D sculpt or a digital sculpt, you're using that same kind of thinking. It's just not as tactile with the digital sculpture. But you basically can translate that pretty easily once you understand the tool and you practice it.